I did 7, and I had 17 years of it, of being M. So I had a full go at it.
Yeah.
And I loved it, just loved it. And I got to go to MI6 and have lunch, and I got to MI5 and have lunch too.
Wow.
So I felt very grand. Especially when those things go down in the road and your car drives in over it. And then the great big wall comes down after you, and you think, this is the real thing. This is real.
Wow.
And when I was at MI5, they said, there are some people want to ask you some questions. So I said, oh, right. So we went in, there was a canteen full of people, absolutely full of people. And they kept asking me. So I said, you know, this is fake. We are fake. You're the actual real thing. You don't have to ask me. Ask yourselves.
You're talking of experience, it's 1968, I think, of going into a room full of men, inevitably, from the film industry, who take one look at you and say, you'll never work in film, Miss Dench. And you report that, quite interestingly, on television there.
Yes, it was a certain film that I was asked to go and see somebody about, and that is what he said. He said, not the right arrangement. He said, that's not quite right. And it wasn't then. It wasn't. I mean, it's only, you know, suddenly then they went all kind of boreways and kind of cast anyone in films that it happened. But it was true. He did say that.
And were you
I've never said who he is.
No, best not. Were you being provocative by reporting that as a young woman?
Sorry?
Were you being a little provocative by reporting that as a young actress? I think it's really great that you do.
As a young actress.
On television you talk about it.
Yes, I reported it a bit later. Well, it stung me. I didn't realise, I think, how much it did at the time, because I had no intention of making a film. All I wanted to do was do Shakespeare and be at the Old Vic, and then come here and do it too.
Sally Bowles in Cabaret, which
yes.
It surprises a lot of people that, again, you took that, your first musical.
It was my first musical, and it was because Hal Prince saw The Promise and said, will you come and audition? Or he said to my agent, would you come and audition? So I did go. I got very, very, very frightened beforehand, and I had a drink, and when it came to auditioning, I actually stood in the wings by the piano, and he was out here, and I sang it from there. I think something like Happy Birthday to You, but having never, sung before. But, you know, the thing about Sally Bowles is, if you go by Christopher Isherwood's book, I'm a Camera, is that she was couldn't sing, and middle-class girl from Cheltenham, and couldn't sing, but there was something about her that you couldn't kind of take your eyes off or stop watching. And so I used to read that every single night. I used to read just this bit in the book. And I was sent to a wonderful, wonderful opera singer called Gwen Catley. And I had some afternoons with her, and she said, I can't teach you to sing, but she said, I can teach you to put a song over. And that's, in fact, what she did.